And that's when I knew Busan was going to be my second home. I grew up so much in Busan that I even mentor other students from Indonesia to help them with their Korean and life in Busan. When I teach them Korean, I sometimes see myself using 사투리. Looking back, I remember struggling to understand what my professors were saying because they were using 찐 Busan 사투리, you know, the real Busan dialect. But I think that's what makes Busan more of my home. Through the dialect, I feel the warm charm that no other city can mimic. Global City Busan. We are in it together. This campaign is brought to you by BEFM 부산 영어 방송.
The time is now 7 o'clock.
It was all about the pomp and circumstance yesterday, the spotlight squarely on U.S. President Donald Trump. As President Ijeong welcomed President Trump on the sidelines of the APEC summit, Trump was bestowed with South Korea's highest state honor and even a replica of a gilded crown, this ancient Korean crown that is quite famous. The summit between the two leaders marked their second face-to-face summit since their last meeting in July at the White House. There was also a breakthrough on the tariff deal between Korea and the U.S. There is so much to discuss, so let's get started. I'm Catherine. This is Morning Wave in Busan on Thursday, October 30th on BEFM 부산 영어 방송. Good morning, Wavers. I hope you're all doing well. It is a beautiful fall Thursday, and so much happened yesterday. We have much to cover. So, the summit in Gyeongju between South Korean President Ijeong and U.S. President Donald Trump lasted for 87 minutes, during which the leaders played it fairly safe in terms of topics discussed. Major points included economic cooperation in shipbuilding, expanding South Korea's defense spending, and a request to allow for Seoul to have fuel for nuclear-powered submarines. So here, the two leaders focused on the points of cooperation and especially the shipbuilding industry and security. President Lee made some specific requests regarding fuel for nuclear submarines to expand the South Korean Navy's defense capabilities in the seas around the Korean Peninsula. And so we'll have more on that as Haley reports on that throughout the program. And afterwards, this is when news emerged that the two countries finalized, and I have to say finally finalized, their trade deal. The larger framework which the two countries agreed to 3 months ago was that Seoul would offer the U.S. a $350 billion investment pledge in exchange for Washington lowering U.S. tariffs. However, getting the details locked down, that's been really difficult, and it took 3 months to accomplish. And yesterday, that was the culmination of 3 months of hard work. Presidential Chief of Policy Kim Yong-bom said that the investment pledge will consist of $200 billion in cash installments and $150 billion allocated for shipbuilding and the shipbuilding industry cooperation, with an annual cap set at $20 billion. So that, is the deal, the overall look of the deal. He emphasized that the impact on the South Korean market will be minimal with this annual cap, adding that Korean companies will lead the shipbuilding cooperation projects, including direct investment and loan guarantees. Needless to say, this was a major day in terms of Korea-U.S. relations and how the relationship may be set moving forward as well. We have further details for you in the next 2 hours. So in the meantime, we're going to shift gears and get to our text topic. So here we go. What are some conspiracy theories or urban legends that have really stuck with you. 자, we're gonna go to the whole 나 때 유행했던 내가 들었던 가장 기억에 남는 음모론 혹은 괴담. What might that be? So send them in to our live stream live chat on YouTube. Because we're streaming live right now. Go to the YouTube platform and type in BEFM or Busan 영어 방송 to find our channel. You can subscribe, log in, and chat with our other waivers. From your phone, pound 9050, shop 9050. That's going to cost you 101. You can also reach me for free through Kakao Talk. So find us first, BEFM, Busan 영어 방송. After you type that in, add us as a friend first, and you can send in your messages and photos as well. The ways you can tune into our program, Morning Wave in Busan. If you're in Busan, 90.5 or 103.3 FM, depending on where you are. Like I said, we're streaming live right now on YouTube. If you haven't caught us on the NoTube channel yet, I encourage you to do so because it's a different experience, right? Radio is one thing, but getting the visuals and seeing all of our guests, that's another thing as well. And we are also available on the BFM app and also the Papang app. Both are free and easy to download. So, looking ahead to our lineup today, it is Thursday. We have Ask Dr. Ryu with Dr. Ryu Sang-hyo. Also, in hour number 2, we have Vasana coming in for Buzz Breakdown. And today we have 2 special interviews planned for you. So, the biggest story right now, obviously, is everything surrounding APEC, and in particular, this deal regarding Korea and the U.S., this new trade agreement. So we're going to have our economic expert take a look at what the details are. So that's coming up in hour number 2. And then for our next special interview, I'm also looking forward to this one. You know, when we transition into a new season, I don't know about you, but I always have issues with skin. Yes, so we're going to get expert tips for healthy fall skin. And by the way, that includes men and women, all the people out there, because we all need to take good care of our skin. So there you have it, the 2 special interviews coming up in hour number 2. I'll be back with news overview. It is now 7:06, and this is News Overview. South Korea and U.S. strike trade deal. South Korea and the U.S. finalize its trade deal detailing Seoul's $350 billion investment package in exchange for the U.S. lowering its tariffs on South Korean goods to 15%, including auto tariffs. President Lee meets President Trump for a second summit. President Ijeong welcomed U.S. President Trump in Gyeongju yesterday with the highest medal of honor as they sat down for their summit focusing on the economy and security. President Trump to meet President Xi today. Chinese President Xi Jinping is due to arrive in South Korea today, where he will sit down with U.S. President Donald Trump for trade talks at 11 a.m. That's according to the White House. August birth rate rises by highest rate in 3 years. The number of newborns in the country rose by 764 in August from a year earlier, marking a consecutive 14-month rise for a total fertility rate of 0.77. Dozens killed in Haiti from Hurricane Melissa. Dozens of people have died in Haiti in a river flooding caused by Hurricane Melissa, a Category 3 hurricane that has wreaked havoc in Jamaica, the Dominican Republic, and Cuba, and is headed toward the Bahamas. And this was News Overview. It's time for Now in Busan. We have Sejin joining us. Let's say good morning first. Hi.
Good morning.
Yes, it is. Well, it's been such a busy past couple of days, especially yesterday. So today, let's talk about the biggest news. The city's been buzzing for several days now, but the world leaders, they touched down ahead of the APEC summit in Gyeongju, correct?
Yes, starting yesterday, leaders from major Asia-Pacific countries have been arriving one after another through Gimhae Airport for APEC summit.
That's right. So it was a really busy day for arrivals. So do we know who came in?
According to diplomatic sources, New Zealand Prime Minister Christopher Luxon arrived yesterday at Busan's Gimhae International Airport aboard a Royal New Zealand Air Force aircraft. About 2 hours later, Russian Deputy Prime Minister for International Affairs, Alexei Overchuk, representing President Vladimir Putin, arrived with his delegation.
Yes, and of course, what about U.S. President Donald Trump?
U.S. President Donald Trump also arrived on Air Force One, reviewed Honor Guard, and then boarded Marine One to head straight for Gyeongju, where the APEC CEO summit is taking place.
Yes.
In the afternoon, Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and Vietnamese President Luong Quang arrived in Busan on their respective aircraft.
Yes.
The Singaporean Prime Minister and Thai Prime Minister also arrived shortly after.
I see. And today, it might be even busier, I'm thinking.
Yes, today, the day before the summit, leaders from China, Japan, Chile, and the Philippines, Malaysia, Brunei, and Indonesia will arrive.
Yes, and let's talk about the security around Gyeongju. It must be quite intense right now.
Absolutely. Across Gyeongju, the highest level of security is in place to ensure the safety of every visiting head of the state.
Yes. So once again, we'll be covering what's happening with APEC throughout the program. For now, we're going to talk about another event because the National Sports Festival just wrapped up. So there's another big event on the horizon. Let's talk about this one.
Yes, 45th National Para Games will kick off with the opening ceremony at 5 p.m. on the 31st tomorrow at the Busan Asiad Main Stadium. General Director Park Kalin has put together a show titled Wave Workaholic to celebrate the athletes' incredible determination in overcoming barriers.
Yes, it does sound really inspiring. What's on the official schedule?
The formal part of the event starts with the declaration of the opening, followed by the entrance of flag-bearing teams, national anthem, oath by athletes and judged, and then speeches, including a welcome from Busan's Mayor Park Kyung-jun and commemorative remarks. And there's a theme performances as well. The opening show will recreate the spirit of the people during the Battle of Donglaesong from the Imjin War, combining martial art and dance.
Yes. So quite a creative concept. So who's performing at this celebration?
Trot singer An Sung-hoon, the group Coyote, and singer Lee Sun-hee will take the stage. Busan Mayor Park Kyung-jun said the city will ensure the event becomes a festival of harmony, bringing together people with and without disabilities.
Right. So once again, the focus on the Para Games this time around. And Halloween is coming quickly upon us because tomorrow's the 31st. So what is Busan City doing about safety this year?
Busan City is running a special safety management period until November 2nd. The city is focusing on the busiest areas like Saman Street in Busan Jingu, Millak-do Market and Gwangali Beach in Suyeong-gu District, and Gunam-lo in Haeundae.
Yes. So in terms of the city managing the safety in these areas, what are they doing specifically?
They are setting up the integrated control center with related agencies to monitor everything in the real time.
Yes.
Between October 24th and 26th, more than 400 people, including local officials, police, and firefighters, carried out safety inspections and handed out leaflets on how to move safely in the crowd.
So, of course, prevention is key, correct?
Absolutely. They will also monitor CCTV footage and analyze crowd density, and if any area looks too packed, they will send out emergency text alert and extra safety staff.
Yes.
From Halloween night, so tomorrow, to November 2nd, Samyeon Youth Street will be under special management.
So it does sound like they're taking it really seriously.
They are. An official said they are mobilized every available resource to ensure a safe Halloween.
Yes, and it's also upon everybody out there, not just authorities, to make it safe and be responsible out there. All right, next, I hear that two of Busan's most beloved parks just got national recognition. Which ones?
Busan Children's Grand Park and 태종대 Resort Park have both been chosen in the 2025 Model Urban Forest in public offering.
Yes.
You must be wondering what exactly the Model Urban Forest Scheme is. It's a national certification system that unearths urban forests with excellent maintenance and design. It aims to boost management quality and public satisfaction. 27 sites applied across Korea, but only 6 made the final this year.
Ooh, so tell us what makes Busan Children's Grand Park so special.
Preserving its natural landform, it was recognized as one of the representative green spaces with a cyper forest and reservoir and accessible forest trails.
Yes, so if you've never been, it is such a lovely space for families and for people who really enjoy walking as well. So what about Taejongdae?
Taejongdae Resort Park offers a breathtaking scenery, coastal scenery surrounded by dense forest. The colors of the forest shift throughout the year, blending beautifully with the cliffs and giving visitors plenty to see. An official had this to say about the recognition. It's owing to years of dedicated effort to improve the park's management system.
Yes, yes. So this is great news. So let's keep it up, keeping our parks and preserving them, of course. And now let's talk about this. I hear that there's been a worrying rise in burnout among young people here in Busan.
Yes, about 4 out of 10 young people in Busan have experienced a burnout, meaning exhaustion and energy depletion. According to the Youth Life in the Southeast Region 2025 report, Busan has about 757,000 young people aged 19 to 39. That's nearly a quarter of the city's population.
Yes, yes. So what else do we need to know about this trend?
And the burnout numbers are rising. Among them, young people in Busan who said that they have experienced burnout was 39.2% last year. That's 15 percentage point increase from 2022.
Which, of course, is a worrisome trend. Generally speaking, how are they feeling about their lives overall?
The rate of those satisfied with their current life also dropped from 45.4% in 2016 to 41.3% last year.
Yes.
The share who think society is fair is sleeping too. It dropped by 7.3% from 64.8% in 2021 to 57.5% last year, while interpersonal trust fell from 70.1% in 2015 to 66.1%.
I see. And what about digital concerns?
Concerns about personal information leaks increased by 6.3 percentage point from 57.9% in 2020 to 64.2% last year. But mind you, there's good news on the job front. The employment rate rose by 6.3% from 2015, while the unemployment rate dropped by 3%.
Okay, so that is encouraging. Well, what about income and debt levels of the young people here in Busan?
As of 2023, the average annual income was 23.24 million won. Up 2.57 million won from 2021, while the average debt rose by 3.88 billion won.
I see. Well, thanks for giving us a snapshot of the youth here in Busan, plus all the other local news. We'll check in with you tomorrow. Thank you, Sajin.
You're welcome.
All right, I'll be back with your traffic and weather. It's time for your traffic report. First up, let's talk about the Dongso overpass. It's congested from Pumnukgo ramp to the old Gaegeum tollgate. Also, Chungnyeol-daedo right now looks backed up from Minam intersection to Mandak Tunnel number 2. The congestion is evident on Gwanmu-daedo from Pangnam Tunnel to Baekyang Tunnel. And there is traffic on Luno-Samsung-daedo from Yeongho interchange to Shino Bridge. Currently, it is 10 degrees Celsius under clear skies. It's going to go up to 19 today. Across the nation, big temperature differences between the morning low and afternoon high across the country. So single-digit lows in the capital area with a daytime high to go up to somewhere between 17 and 21 degrees, depending on where you are. And this was your traffic and weather. It's time for our top stories. We have Haley in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. So we have a lot to get into, so we're going to dive right in.
Yes, let's.
So the main story, obviously, is the ROK, South Korea-U.S. trade deal.
Right, so we're going to talk about basically what went down at the APEC summit all throughout the day yesterday. So now we finally have the details of how much and where in this $350 billion investment package will go to. So according to Presidential Policy Chief Kim Yong-bum yesterday, South Korea will pay cash investment of $200 billion. However, this will be divided out into a maximum of $20 billion per year. So the key point in this, and this was the major point of contention, was to reach a balance where the U.S. would be satisfied with the amount. However, for South Korea's part, where the cash outflow wouldn't hurt the South Korean foreign currency market.
Right.
So according to Kim Yong-bum, he said that the investment will remain within a range that Korean foreign exchange markets can absorb, therefore minimizing any impact on the market. And also Kim added that Korean companies will lead the shipbuilding cooperation projects, including direct investments and loan guarantees.
Yes, and what about what South Korea is getting in return?
Right, let's talk about the other side of the aspect. Reciprocal tariffs, 상호 관세, will remain at the 15% level as it's been agreed upon in July. This 15% number will also apply to auto, so car tariffs. Pharmaceutical and lumber products will be granted what's called the most favorable nation treatment. So not tariff exempt, but better in terms of other countries.
Yes.
Airplane parts, generic pharmaceuticals, and natural resources that are not produced in the U.S. will be exempt from tariffs as well. Seoul and Washington, they've also agreed to incorporate this phrasing, commercial rationality. So in Korean, this is called 상업적 합리성, into the Memorandum of Understanding, the MOU, to split profits equally until the investment amount, so the principal, is recovered.
I see.
So pundits are saying that this is kind of a safeguard to officially put this on paper. It's seen as a final step of the trade deal.
Yes. So thanks for covering this. And we'll have another expert analysis on this in hour number 2 with our special interview number 1. And next, let's dive back into the other part of our top story this morning, the I재명-Donald Trump summit. So what went down? What happened?
Right. So we're going to go back in reverse order. This summit was earlier in the day between President I재명 and President Donald Trump. It began specifically at 2:39 p.m., ended at 4:06 p.m. At the National Gyeongju Museum. So it actually began with an official welcome, and President Lee. And this was interesting because all these ceremonial aspects maybe take after, during like a state dinner or a luncheon. However, maybe that order was very much pointed. So President Lee awarded President Trump with the 무궁화 Medal of Honor, and we'll get to the pomp and grandeur specifically later.
Yes.
In terms of who was at the table, South Korea brought its full diplomatic and trade lineup, including Finance Minister Gu Yun-chol, Foreign Minister Cho Hyun, Trade Minister Kim Jong-kwan, Chief of Policy Kim Yong-bum, National Security Advisor Wi Sung-rak, and top trade negotiator Yeo Hang-gu. And then sitting at the other side of the table, the U.S. brought Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, and U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer.
Yes.
So if you have been following the news, these are all the cast of characters who have met each other before multiple times in real life and virtually on trade talks. So clearly that was the heavy part of the closed-door meetings. As you said, though, the discussions, at least in the opening, the public statements, were focused more on shipbuilding cooperation.
Indeed. And there was more in-depth discussion in the security field as well.
Right. And that's an area that we're getting rapid developments on as we speak. The major point was that President I재명 requested for the U.S. to allow South Korea to have fuel for nuclear-powered submarines. So in Korean, that's 핵 추진 잠수함 연료 확보. And this is actually the very first time that the South Korean government has made this official request, because it is anything involving nuclear, naturally, politically, and a diplomatically sensitive issue.
Right.
So here's the thing. Why is this such a big deal? In order to develop nuclear-powered submarines, you need a small-scale nuclear reactor. Of course, a nuclear reactor that we would use for energy, that is not a problem. However, you need U.S. approval for military-purpose nuclear reactors. And then fuel for that requires enriched uranium, 농축 우라늄, again also sending red flags, and that, of course, South Korea would need U.S. permission to acquire.
Right.
So this is the reason why South Korea is pushing for such nuclear-powered submarines, is that according to President Lee, the current diesel-powered submarines have limited underwater navigation capabilities. So this restricts South Korean military's ability to track North Korean or Chinese submarines. So unlike diesel-powered submarines, nuclear-powered ones can stay underwater for months.
Yes, yes.
He also emphasized that this is for defense and differentiating completely not to build nuclear armed submarines.
Right, right. And so I hear we have some breaking news
We
regarding
do.
it. Can you tell us about it?
Right. So at this point yesterday, the U.S. didn't really make a statement. However, we are getting the story via President Donald Trump's Truth Social. Just minutes ago, he said he has given them, South Korea, approval to build a nuclear-powered submarine rather than the old-fashioned diesel-powered submarine. And calling this, by the way, a great tip with a great president of South Korea. And he also added South Korea will be building these nuclear-powered submarines in the Philadelphia shipyards. Quote right here in the good old USA. And he brought this back to the shipbuilding capabilities in the country to bring that up to par as past levels.
That's right, that's right. So another point was to increase South Korea's defense cost burden, right?
Right. So specifically here, it was all about how much of South Korea's GDP, gross domestic product, will go into defense. So according to multiple government sources that have been cited, South Korea apparently offered to increase its current figure, which sits at 2.32% of the GDP, to 3.5% by the year 2035, which is what the U.S. had been calling for, and the U.S. accepted. The Defense Ministry is of the position to raise the defense costs by 8% from the current levels each year to reach that 3.5% goal by 2035. So in this case, based on nominal GDP projections, South Korea would be spent 128.4 trillion won on defense come 2035.
Okay.
South Korea is also said to have expressed interest in purchasing U.S. weapon systems.
That's right. Well, we're going to shift gears just a little bit and talk about North Korea. On that front, well, basically, we know thus far that Kim Jong-un has not responded to President Trump's call for a meeting.
And it's probably not going to happen.
Yes.
And we had confirmation on this at the summit as well. So President Ijeong said that Chairman Kim Jong-un did not fully accommodate President Trump's sincerity, and the meeting fell through. President Trump also said, quote, "We weren't really able to work out the timing."
Yes.
However, pundits say, looking at a little bit of a backdrop, that North Korea may have been less desperate this time around as it was back in June of 2019, which is when that very impromptu Panmunjom meeting happened.
Yes.
Because looking at some recent circumstances, it has increasingly cozied up to Russia. It has recently improved relations with China, all the while improving its nuclear and missile capability, having launched cruise missiles just hours before Donald Trump's arrival.
Right.
The leaders of South Korea and the U.S., however, they used this opportunity yesterday to emphasize their willingness for dialogue with Pyongyang.
Indeed. And now we're going to touch upon some of that pomp and grandeur, the pomp and circumstance of the state visit.
It was flattery all the way.
It was.
So first, there was a huge red carpet welcome. President Ijeong greeted President Trump at the National Museum with the red carpet and the traditional daechita. It was a band fanfare. He also presented Trump with the Grand Order of Mugunghwa Medal, which is the highest honor you can receive in South Korea.
Yes.
By the way, President Trump is the first U.S. president to receive this medal. And President Lee said that this is in respect to Trump's willingness to safeguard peace and commitment to Korea-U.S. relations.
Yes.
South Korea also presented Trump with a replica of the famous 천마총 gold crown from the Silla dynasty. And by the way, I do want to note, this isn't just a copy that you would buy at the museum. It was actually handcrafted by a certified craftsman, local craftsman. Here, President Lee said that this represents the golden era of the two countries' alliance. Trump, he very much welcomed this gift, said that it was very special, reportedly told his aide to take good care of it and display it at the front row of his collection. Oh. Right. And he even during the press meeting made sure to turn the Mugunghwa medal to face the cameras.
Yes.
The luncheon, the food, the menus are also very important. It was also symbolic of peace. This was a working lunch using Korean fusion menus with U.S. beef. Very pointed statement there. The dessert was apparently a golden tangerine and a brownie with gold flecks with peace written on the plate. South Korea also shipped wine from Eric Trump, Donald Trump's son's wine vineyard, and had a special state dinner featuring this wine.
Well, that's what went down yesterday, and we also, went over the details of that deal. So let's also get the latest from the APEC summit itself, because South Korea as a host nation has been working really hard to get this Gyeongju Joint Declaration approved by all the parties and published as kind of the finale of the summit. So how has that process been going?
Right. So the toughest part is always mediation, especially when you have 21 parties. So South Korea has been mediating positions from all the member economies with the foreign ministry at the helm.
Yes.
So APEC summit, it makes its decisions on a consensus basis, meaning all 20 members need to agree upon every single sentence, the wording that goes into the joint declaration.
Right.
So the key event here will be the APEC ministerial meeting, AMM, which is the meeting of foreign and trade ministers. They discuss key regional economic issues, and the goal here is to coordinate policies and agree on common ground ahead of the economic leaders meeting.
Yes.
So the joint statement that comes out of this meeting will be a key foundation for the Gyeongju Declaration, and that'll be later. The AMM will be later today.
Yes. So let's go over some of the points of contention.
I mean, U.S. and China. What else, right? The trade conflict. So according to reports, the U.S. has been pushing for a line in the declaration that defines China's export controls of these rare earth minerals as economic coercion in the declaration. On the other hand, China has been pushing for a statement against protectionism and a call for multilateralism. So thinly veiled, if at all. So with this, another event we'll have to watch for is the Trump-Xi Jinping summit that's scheduled for today.
That's right. Speaking of which, what do we know about this summit? It's been kind of like,
It's been a little bit of a confusing morning. Of course, full details are not disclosed because of security reasons.
Yes.
The White House this morning, Korea time, released President Trump's schedule for today, saying that the summit will take place today at 11 a.m. What's noteworthy and a bit confusing has been the location, because previously it's been announced that this will take place in Busan, but that schedule, a copy of the schedule, has the location as Gyeongju. But earlier yesterday, the Chinese Foreign Ministry officially said that President Xi and Trump will meet in Busan. So we'll have to see. However, in terms of the logistics, the schedule always has President Trump departing for the U.S. with wheels off scheduled at 12:55 p.m. So realistically, if they're meeting at 11, it's going to have to be at Kimhae for them to get through the meeting and for him to depart a little before 1. In any case, this meeting kicks off President Xi Jinping's 3-day trip in South Korea starting today, and this will end with a summit with President Ijeong on Saturday.
That's right. Well, thank you for all the details. More to follow. Great job, Haley. And we'll check in with you in our number 2. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, another speaker that you might have heard about, a person named RM, he actually spoke at one of the events as well at APEC. So here is Idol by BTS.
Can't call me artist, can't call me idol. 아니 못던 다른 뭐라 해도 I don't care. I'm proud of it. 난 잘 없네. 너무 알았네. 나는 항상 나였길. 소각해. 나는 전혀 신경 쓰지 않네. 나는 역할은 내가. 그 이유가 뭐든 간에. I know what I am. I know what I want. I never gon' change. I never gon' trade. 서식간에 적시간에 내게 touch it I do my thing I love myself I love myself I love my fellow my things and my way 내 속안에 몇십 명 백 명의 내가 있어 오늘도 다른 날 맞이해 어차피 전부 다 나에게 고민보다는 게 달리네 Running man running man running man 뭘 어쩌고 저쩌고 다들 알아대셔 Talking I do what I do you can know 너는 잘하셔 You can't stop me loving myself You can't stop me loving myself You can't stop me loving I'm so fine wherever I go 가끔 멀리 돌아가도 It's okay I'm in love with myself It's okay 이 순간 행복해 You can't stop me loving myself You can't stop me loving
Welcome back, everybody. Who was dancing to that song? I know many of you were. I was dancing quietly inside the studio in my head. Let's get to our text topic. What are some conspiracy theories or urban legends that have really stuck with you? So we're talking about like the 음모론, the 괴담s out there. So 이거는 너무 많이 들었어요. And although Dr. Liu debunked this myth for us, I know you've heard it. 선풍기 틀고 자면 like you might actually die. That was like such an urban myth. And I'm so glad Dr. Liu, he several months ago, he debunked that myth. So looking at some of your responses, first up we have, for example, let's see. There were so many. Okay. The whole conspiracy theory Benny is saying is maybe the disinformation of the 1986 EDSA People Power Revolution. Oh, and maybe social media has reasons why they want to talk about it, and people, I don't know, there are, I guess, conspiracy theories about that one. Another one that caught my eye is, how about the whole, like, I don't know, there are so many in Korea about the 괴담s, about, I don't know, about the female high schools and like, 그런 kind of deadly is, I guess, the most appropriate word, and the 귀신s that supposedly haunt the hallways of schools. And I always wondered, is it like borrowed from like Japanese culture or not? I'm not quite sure, but why there's so many, horror stories about especially girls' high schools, and they're always in their school uniforms with their long, straight black hair. That's also quite common here in Korea as well. And of course, the conspiracy theories about assassinations in the United States. There are so many of those out there. And also the conspiracy about, the U.S. government, they know about UFOs and aliens, and they've done alien autopsies. I'm sure you've heard those as well. So those are just a few that have been mentioned on the board and coming off the top of my mind as well. For now, though, we're going to jump into Ask Dr. Liu. It's time for Ask Dr. Liu. Guess who's here? Dr. Liu Sang-hyo. Good morning.
안녕하세요. Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Liu. I'm the certified doctor. I'm a real doctor.
He is. He
Okay.
is a real doctor. He is indeed. And
Yes.
you're in this lovely marigold yellow today,
Yeah.
signifying fall is here.
Yeah,
Yes.
my wife always says
Uh-huh.
this to me. Wow, you don't change your clothes so often. It's because once I pick up kind of some clothes,
Yes.
I wear it for about a year. Not
Oh,
a year,
really?
Not a year, a week. Sorry.
week, okay.
A week. Sorry, not a year.
I was going to say.
Oh my goodness, what's got into me?
Not a year, just a
Okay,
week.
just a
Okay.
week,
Thank
okay.
you for clarifying. Do you have any kredums for us, or like 음모론 that 음모론 that you've heard that they've kind of stuck with you, even though you probably think like, oh, it's probably not true, but
Yeah, on my way to the studio, I just heard that, and then something just pops up in my mind.
Yes, which
Yeah,
one?
It was if you do cross your leg, your mommy is gonna die sooner or later. That's what mommy told me when I was young.
really
Yeah.
다리를 이렇게 꼬.
Yeah, that's right. I think she wanted to teach me how to respect elders. That's why she mentioned it. And so I looked it up on the internet. And it's totally not true.
You had to look it up.
Yeah.
What about this one? 다리 떨면 복 나간다.
I heard it many times.
Tweety Bird. She's saying that one. 맞아요. I think that's just to get, your little ones like to stop. Because it's contagious though.
Yeah.
Because you see someone doing it. We have a producer at BFM. 장 부장님, I'm calling you out. He like shakes his leg and it's like a 지진이에요.
Yeah.
You feel it from across the room.
Yeah, I do that a lot of times because I'm a pretty good drummer.
Oh,
so
you
I used to
are.
practice my kick leg skills.
Oh, with the bass drum.
Yeah, bass drums, that's right.
Oh, nice. We're learning so much about you today.
Yeah.
Dr.
Okay.
Liu is a drummer. Well, we got to jump into some
Yes.
medical stuff. So, what are we talking about today?
We're going to talk about there are some kind of, is it a myth or not?
Oh, 진짜? Okay, which one?
Okay. Feel a cold and starve a fever.
That's like an old saying we've heard in English, right? So, how would we say that in Korean?
감기에는 감기를 굶기고
아니요?
감기를 먹이고 sorry the other way around. What's going to okay.
Okay.
감기를 굶기고 열을
반대.
감기를 먹이고
네.
열은 정말 굶겨야 된다.
네.
Yeah. So when you're febrile, you have to you gotta fast or you gotta starve yourself.
Is it true though?
No, it's not true.
It's not true.
It's not true. But the first half is right. Feel cold. That's kind of it makes sense.
Because if you have a cold, you should be eating well?
That's right. That phrase goes way back about 500 years ago.
Oh.
People believed that food gave you warmth and energy.
Okay.
So if you were cold, you needed feeding. But if you had a fever at that time, they thought you needed to cool down by eating less. It's really fascinating because centuries later, science has verified that it has been giving us some kind of insight into why part of them might make sense and why part of it doesn't.
Okay. So, eating well.
Yes.
It might help with your immune system fighting.
That's
No?
right.
Yes?
Yeah, I read
Okay.
an article the other day. It was Guardian, and then the professor Tom Wilkinson said that it's half true and it is half right. First, let me go with the first one. When you have cold, you gotta eat well because eating well activates immune cells are deployed and they're in action mode. So let's say that if you fast, if you don't eat, if you don't get fed well during cold season,
Yes.
it's like sending your soldiers to the battlefield without supplying any food and without supplying any fuel.
Oh, that's a really good analogy. So we have a better picture. You don't want to send out those soldiers without food or weapons
no.
when you're trying to fight a cold. Okay.
No. So, and then that's so true in that sense. But what about starving a fever? And people say that when you have a fever, or you have to fast, you don't get fed deliberately. That doesn't make sense because when you have fever, your immune system requires more energy.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that might be some kind of a mistranslation because not starve a fever, rather it should be stave off a fever.
Oh, so feed a cold, stave off a fever.
Yeah.
Meaning, like keep it away.
Yeah.
Yes.
That kind of a mistranslation, it's like a linguistic twist. Might have been stuck in our brain for centuries. So good nutrition supports immune regulation and preventing excessive inflammation. So I'd rather say not starve, maybe stave off.
Yes.
They may have been turned into starve.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So now then technically we should be eating well whether we have a cold or a fever. That's irrespective of the cold, or maybe you have a fever because of the cold. But anyways, you should be eating well nonetheless, right?
That's right. But when you have fever, when you got a cold, what happened to your appetite?
It goes down.
It goes down.
Yeah.
It's a natural defense mechanism because when you don't get really that hungry, so the amount of consumption of your food might drops maybe a little bit, and then it deprives of some kind of nutrients into our blood system, and that also detrimental to our bacteria or germs, especially germs and bacteria. So that's why it's another defense mechanism. But if just a little bit of a less appetite we might experience, but don't starve.
Don't starve.
Yes.
근데 I don't know about some people, but I think our producer will agree with me. 이상하게 for me, and obviously our producer, she also says this. 근데 감기 걸리면 따뜻한 거 먹고 싶은 그런 사람들도 꽤 있을 것 같아요.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
It does? Okay.
Yes.
So we're not weird.
You're not weird.
Okay.
It totally makes sense because when you're a fever, when you get a cold, the first priority is hydration. You know how much water we lose in a day through not kind of a number one or number two, rather just breathing and instant evaporation through our skin, and also sweating. How much water would you think we lose in a day?
I don't know.
About 500 and 1,000 liter. 1,000 milliliter.
Oh, so 1 liter?
In 1 liter. 500cc에서 1리터 정도는 1리터까지는 숨 쉬는 거랑 땀 흘리는 걸 통해 가지고 이제 물이 날아가죠.
So it evaporates.
That's called insensible loss in medical term.
Okay.
But that insensible loss increases when you are febrile. So you are prone to, get dehydrated.
But then like Leslie says, and I also agree, when I have a fever,
yes.
근데 뭔가 입맛이 없어요. Like when I have a cold, 뭔가 I feel like, I got to eat something warm, maybe soupy, something with a broth. But when I have a cold, a fever, 근데 열날 때는 for many people, they're also saying, 근데 열날 때는 약간 입맛이 진짜 떨어진다던데요.
That's right, 떨어지는 거야. Yeah, that's
but we need to hydrate.
Need to hydrate.
On purpose.
Yeah, on purpose. That's the key. That's the key. You hit the nail on the spot. Yes.
Even though we know sometimes it's like, I don't want to eat anything, but we gotta, drink and rehydrate. I see. So, people are asking on the board though.
Yes.
Is there anything in particular, like Tommy and other listeners, anything especially good to fight the cold, the common cold, or when you have a fever? Is there something you might recommend, generally speaking, aside from fluids? What might be good?
Take a rest and try to smile as much or try to laugh as much as, because when you laugh and your immune system goes up, and then you gotta give them opportunity to fight against all those germs. And also, some people say that vitamin C might cure everything, but it's proven that taking vitamin C on a regular basis might prevent or may lower the chance of contracting some viruses.
On a regular basis.
That's right.
Not when you get the cold.
No. So
Okay.
after getting a cold, mega dose vitamin C doesn't do any good for our body in terms of fighting against any germs.
Okay.
And also, I told you, I'm going to say it again. Rehydration. Dehydration is the key because you gotta take plenty of water.
Yes,
because
yes.
that's a key. And also, you got a flu in that case, or some kind of cold. Antibiotics cannot kill those viruses.
Right.
Like I said last week.
Sure.
And also, but in case of bacterial infection, you gotta stick to what doctors told you to
I
do.
have a question,
yes,
Dr. D.
Yes, Catherine.
Because this myth, I think you've all heard it. Cold weather makes you get a cold, or like going out with wet hair. Makes you, you've all heard that, right?
Yeah, I heard it many times.
Right. So is that true?
No, it's actually one of my favorites because it's a mix of superstitions with half truths.
Yes.
Well, actually, you don't get sick from cold air. You get sick from viruses.
Yes.
The reason is that during the winter season, people stay indoors rather than outdoors, and then we might want to be cooped up in our room and then turn on kind of a heater, and then that means you don't tend to ventilate room often.
Sure.
So that's a perfect environment for virus to grow and spread. So cold air itself doesn't infect you, rather dry air and also living with other people with close proximity might increase the chance of contracting viruses.
So it's not actually going outside in the cold. No. Okay, so myth buster. How about this myth? Sweat it out, because like some people think like, I mean my roommate also says this to me, when he's sick he wants to sweat it out, like go to a sauna, or like turn on the electric blanket and sweat it out. I mean, is that a myth?
Actually, it's a myth. I told you, it's sweating doesn't eliminate viruses. Your immune system does that. So overheating can lead to dehydration, I said. So when you're sweating, it means you're insensible loss. You tend to dehydrate yourself.
Yes.
So sweat it out is totally not true.
Not true.
Yeah.
I have another one.
Yes.
Coffee dehydrates you, because I know so many of our listeners out there, they love drinking coffee. So about the whole coffee dehydrating you, is that absolutely true?
Well, it's been a little bit exaggerated because coffee does have a mild diuretic effect. You want to pee after eating some high caffeinated drinks. And then you feel thirsty after that. But that's kind of an exaggeration. Excess caffeine can make you a little bit dehydrated when you are febrile. But in most cases, a lot of Koreans like to drink Americano with lots of water.
Yes.
So it doesn't affect that much to their body. So, yes. So I would say it's okay.
Yes.
But if you are a high caffeine drinker, please drink a lot of water at the same time or during the day. And that's what I'm saying. So coffee dehydrates you. That's kind of exaggeration.
Well, guess what?
Yes.
One of our listeners wants to join in the 아재 gag, apparently. So 태진님 says, 감기가 빨리 낫는 방법은 빨리 감기. 감기에 또 걸리면 되감기. Can we all should we form an 아재 gag club? Because we have so many 아재s here that think they're funny, but I don't know. So if we had to wrap up, what do you want to leave us with, Dr. Liu, today?
Okay. I coined up this kind of a phrase. This is really, really well said. I'm praising
You're praising yourself.
Yes.
Okay, what is it?
Feed your immune system.
Feed your immune system.
Hydrate your body. Rest your brain. And trust your biology.
Oh, trust your body and biology?
Yeah,
yes?
when you are sick, you might lose a little bit of appetite. But
it's okay?
It's okay. But you drink lots of water and some warm tea.
Yes.
Yeah, that would suffice things for you.
Well, thank you for going over the ins and outs of all these, the cold and the fever part, and also the remedies. So we'll check in with you next week. So stay healthy, Dr. Yu.
Thank you. Till next week. Just wait it out. Not
네,
sweat it out.
참으세요. All right, everybody. This was Ask Dr. Liu with Dr. Liu. It's time to wrap up hour number 1. This is 춥다 by APEC High.
꽃을 피우고 여름이 와 기억이 녹아내려도
원래 사계절이 어울리지 않아 차가운 알잖아 모진 성격은 사로라는 겨울 시린 바람 알 만큼 알잖아 내가 냉정이 다른걸 겨울바다 같은 심장인걸 배를 띄워 다가오면 알겠지 내가 섬이 아닌 빙산인걸
난 초점을 잃었지 서리 낀 눈 시린 기억이 밟혀서 목젖 없이 비명만 질렀지 아픈 상처만 남은 빙판이었지 눈사태 난 듯 무너진 맘 추스려 보니 다시 불 꺼진 밤 너라 내가 떠도 눈 덮인 산은 녹지 않아
여긴 춥다
주머니에 손을 숨겨봐도
너무 춥다
손을 모아 있긴 불어봐도
맘이 얼어붙어서
It's so cold
자꾸 입술이 튼다 나만 춥다
이불로 내 몸을 감싸봐도
너무 춥다
누군가의 품에 안겨봐도
가슴이 구멍나서
It's so cold
막아보려 해도 자꾸 바람이 샌다
봄은 설레며 찾아오지만 난가래 끝자락에서 겨울에 멈춘 기억 따스함은 가둬서 마른 맘에 튼살 안에서 얼어붙은 강물에 갇힌 추억 붙잡고 내 손을 놓지 않아 차가웠던 이별을 안 뒤부터 꽃피던 그 봄은 오지 않아
벚꽃이 내가 눈송이처럼 피잖아 여긴 춥다 햇살도 내가 눈보라처럼 치잖아 나만 춥다 건드리면 다 어울리잖아 너의 손을 잡을까 겁이 난다 네가 나와 가까워지면 너의 심장도 몸살
여긴
걸릴까봐
춥다
주머니에 손을 숨겨봐도
너무 춥다
손을 모아 있긴 불어봐도
맘이 얼어붙어서
It's so cold
자꾸 입술이 튼다 나만 춥다
이불로 내 몸을 감싸봐도
어린이 교통사고 피해자 수는 지난 3년 평균 약 9만 명. 특히 어린이 보호구역 안전 기준이 강화된 이후에도 어린이 보호구역 내 사고는 지속적으로 발생하고 있습니다. 스쿨존에서는 반드시 시속 30km 이하 서행, 스쿨존 내 불법 주정차 금지, 차량 출발 전 앞뒤 좌우 살피는 습관으로 어린이가 안전한 도시를 만듭니다. 참, 운전 중 휴대전화 사용은 모두에게 위험합니다. 우리 모두를 위한 교통안전, 나부터 실천하면 모두가 안전해집니다. 어린이가 안전하게 뛰어놀 수 있는 부산. 아이 키우기 좋은 도시는 우리 모두의 미래이자 희망입니다. 이 캠페인은 어린이가 안전한 부산을 만드는 은행, BNK 부산은행과 함께합니다.
안녕하세요, 개그맨 이상훈입니다. 올스타 잉글리시가 준비한 공개 방송 We Are K 드디어 여러분을 찾아갑니다. R&B의 황제 한이영 우리 김조한 씨, 아츠 러블리즈 예인 DJ 페리와 피리 연주자 김지윤의 K-EDM 스테이지, 선물이 빵빵 터지는 다양한 이벤트까지.
All-Star English Everyday Star 신민수입니다. 부기도 오고 날씨 요정도 옵니다, 여러분. K-부산, K-pop, K-sound, a global festival of music, English and culture at We Are K.
동아 인터내셔널 데이와 함께하는 올스타 잉글리시 공개방송 11월 6일 목요일 오후 4시 동아대 부민 캠퍼스에서 만나요.
저 러블리즈 예인이도 함께해요. 모두 함께 만나요. 아츄.
The time is now 8 o'clock.
Welcome back, everybody. This is our number 2 of Morning Wave in Busan, and we begin with Spotlight News. South Korea and U.S. strike trade deal. South Korea and the U.S. finalized its trade deal detailing Seoul's $350 billion investment package in exchange for the U.S. lowering its tariffs on South Korean goods to 15%, including auto tariffs. South Korea will pay the U.S. $200 billion in cash installments, with $150 billion allocated for cooperating in the shipbuilding industry. But the money will be capped at $20 billion per year, according to Presidential Chief of Staff Kim Yong-bum. The deal also stipulates South Korea will receive most favored nation treatment on pharmaceutical and lumber products, and semiconductor tariffs set on par with those applied to Taiwan, Seoul's major competitor in the sector, according to the presidential office. President Lee meets President Trump for second summit. President Ijeong welcomed U.S. President Donald Trump in Gyeongju yesterday with the highest Medal of Honor as they sat down for their summit, focusing on the economy and security. President Lee made the country's first official request to the U.S. to allow South Korea to secure fuel for nuclear-powered submarines, while vowing to increase defense spending. President Trump announced via social media that he has approved for South Korea to build nuclear-powered submarines, adding that such submarines will be built in the Philadelphia shipyards. President Trump to meet President Xi today. Chinese President Xi Jinping is due to arrive in South Korea today, where he will sit down with U.S. President Donald Trump for trade talks at 11 a.m., according to the White House. The two economic superpowers agreed on a temporary truce after disputes over China's rare earth minerals exports and the U.S.'s 100% tariff threats. President Xi is also scheduled to meet with South Korean President Ijeong on Saturday, where the two are expected to discuss improving Seoul-Beijing relations as well as North Korea. August birth rate rises by highest rate in 3 years. The number of newborns in the country rose by 764 in August from a year earlier, marking a consecutive 14-month rise for a total fertility rate of 0.77. South Korea's birth rate in the first 8 months of the year rose by 6.8% compared to the same period last year, marking the biggest rise in 18 years. The rise was driven by an increase of women in their late 30s giving birth. The number of weddings in August rose by 11%, the highest in 8 years. Dozens killed in Haiti from Hurricane Melissa. At least dozens of people have died in Haiti in a river flooding caused by Hurricane Melissa, a Category 3 hurricane that has wreaked havoc in Jamaica, the Dominican Republic, and Cuba, and is headed toward the Bahamas. Melissa hit Jamaica on Tuesday local time as a Hurricane 5 storm, one of the strongest Atlantic hurricanes on record, causing major infrastructural damage and leaving most of the country without power. Jamaica has reported several deaths so far, with one person dead reportedly in the Dominican Republic. And this was Spotlight News. This is the first of two special interviews for today. Following several months of negotiations, South Korea and the United States finally reached a conclusion to this new trade agreement yesterday. So the new deal includes cash investments in the U.S. and also cooperation in shipbuilding. Also lowering the tariffs on Korean automobiles and gives favorable treatment to industries like semiconductors and pharmaceuticals. So today, we're going to speak with our expert to unpack the details and implications of this deal. Joining us once again is Professor Yang Jun-suk, Professor of Economics at the Catholic University of Korea. Hi, Professor. How are you?
Good morning. Fine, thank you.
Yes. So it was a huge day yesterday. This deal involves a $200 billion cash investment capped at $20 billion annually, at least until 2029. So why might Seoul have pushed for this annual limit? Can you explain?
Okay, well, when the United States demanded $350 billion all up front, Bank of Korea carried out a report on how much Korea can raise dollars without affecting the foreign currency market. And their research showed that Korea can raise up to $20 billion from the foreign exchange market under normal circumstances without affecting the foreign exchange rate too much. So that's one strand of it. The second strand, if you listen to the press conference by the Korea side yesterday, right now they plan to procure most of these funds through the normal functioning of the foreign exchange reserve funds that we have currently. What we mean by that is that a lot of these funds are in forms of easily liquid investment, mostly government bonds, U.S. government bonds, but also other securities as well. Mm-hmm. And those have interest.
Yes.
So if we take the interest from those investments along with maybe additional bonds issued and guaranteed by the Korean government and also other various this and that, then we should be able to raise most of that $20 billion without directly procuring dollars from the foreign currency markets. So it's a method to not go into the currency market and affecting the exchange rate too much. Mm-hmm. That $20 billion was basically a compromise between U.S. and Korea. Reportedly, once the $350 billion all at once up front, once that went out of the picture because U.S. was not able or willing to give unlimited currency swap. Mm-hmm. Apparently, the negotiation centered around how much cash per year and how much the total cash amount was going to be. It was stated that Korea was trying to get it down to $15 billion per year. U.S. was sort of insisting on $25 billion per year, and they sort of compromised and ended up in the middle, and that happened to be the upper limit of what Bank of Korea thought was possible.
I see. Thanks for explaining that aspect, but I also want to talk about the whole Make American Shipbuilding Great Again, the MASGA project. So that we're talking about $150 billion in this shipbuilding cooperation initiative. So this agreement reportedly includes things like guarantees and not just investments. So how does that change the risk profile?
Okay, well, the total amount, $350 billion, going to the United States remains the same. Mm-hmm. The problem was how much was going to be in cash, direct investment, and for how long. Well, the answer right now seems to be that Korea will make $20 billion per year, up to $200 billion. So presumably that will be for about 10 years.
Yes.
Now, we don't know how much of that will go to the shipbuilding aspect of it, but right now, if about 150 billion is going to be from government loan guarantees, and that's probably going to back civilian investment in the United States. So in that sense, some of the burden for that $350 will fall into private companies, and presumably, like what Hanwha Ocean did, Korean firms will go to the United States, either take over some of the shipbuilding companies that are not doing well, or establish new shipbuilding companies of their own, and government will loan the money or do loan guarantees on that. So in that sense, some of the burden will be shifted to the private sector rather than the government sector. But that was what Korea really wanted in the first place when Korea offered $350 billion investment to the United States. Originally, most of that $350, at least from Korean offer at that time, was going to be in the form of loans or loan guarantees. So in that sense, perhaps the burden on the private sector is going to be somewhat less than what the original offer for Korea was going to be.
Yes.
Now, another sort of a hurdle to overcome is that because shipbuilding in the United States is a protected sector in terms of foreign investment and trade, and it's based on things like the Jones Act of 1930, I believe. So U.S. will need to change laws, not only for the shipbuilding investment, but the overall deal as well. And right now, while U.S. Senate is still operating, the House of Representatives are not. So they will need to change some laws in order to facilitate Korean investment in the shipbuilding sector in the United States.
Right.
And it will probably pass, but we don't quite know when that's going to be.
And another facet of this deal is regarding the lowering of tariffs on Korean automobiles from the lofty 25% to now 15%, and also giving most favored status to sectors like semiconductors and pharmaceuticals. So this might be our last question, so I do want to get your take on this part of the deal as well.
Okay, well, automobiles are probably going to be the biggest beneficiaries of this deal.
Yes.
And that's because other countries have been lowering their tariff rate from 25 to 15%. Now, right now, semiconductors do not have a tariff rate on them. Now, Korea is looking at this matching of the tariff rate to what Taiwan is going to be as a major accomplishment. I'm not sure if it is as major as we think. That's because the U.S. right now their economy is growing, but the two biggest factors behind that growth is, one, strong consumption, stronger than what most economies thought it would be, and second is that they're building a lot of AI data centers. That's why there's a lot of semiconductor imports right now at 0% tariff rate. Trump has been threatening 100% tariff rates, but he also said that there will be exemptions for companies which have production facilities or building facilities in the United States.
Right.
The Korean companies, at least the larger ones, Samsung and Hynix, have production facilities, and they are building facilities there. So they probably wouldn't have gotten stuck with high semiconductor tariffs anyway.
I see.
And because the U.S. growth right now depends so much on those data centers, I doubt if the Trump administration would have imposed semiconductor tariffs, at least not anytime soon. But still, it may be good for the Korean stock markets as well as exchange rates to have that guarantee that they will not be worse off than Taiwan.
Well, thank you so much for going over the latest details. I mean, this is such a fresh deal, fresh from yesterday, but going over the ins and outs and your expert opinion as well. So thanks for joining us today, Professor Yang.
Thank you.
Once again, this was Professor Yang Jun-suk when we talked about that new trade deal. Finally, hopefully we will get more details of these major deals in the future. In the meantime, I'll be back with your second special interview.
Good morning.
Good morning.
굿모닝입니다.
Good morning.
좋은 아침입니다.
Morning wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan. Major news, local buzz, and expert takes. It's all here on Morning Wave in Busan. Brighten up your morning commute with Morning Wave in Busan. Morning Wave in Busan.
This is our second special interview for this Thursday morning. Obviously, seasons change, and the seasons are changing right now. We are transitioning into fall, and some might say we're even, heading into early winter. Our bodies, and especially our skin, feel the difference. I definitely feel it on my face. With fall's crisp, cooler air setting in, our faces start to show subtle signs of change as well. But those little signs should not be overlooked because they can signal that our skin needs a little bit of extra care and attention. So today, we're going to talk about common skin troubles that come with seasonal transitions and learn some practical tips to keep our skin healthy and glowing throughout fall. Joining us today is Dr. David Pearson, Associate Professor of Dermatology, Department of Dermatology at the University of Minnesota Medical School. Hi, Dr. Pearson. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes. So we here in Korea are transitioning from summer to fall, and even some might say fall to winter right now. And there are some major changes that I even feel on my own face right now. So what might some of the common skin problems be, especially people overlooking some of these issues during these seasonal transitions?
Yeah, I think one of the major changes that we see is dryness as the weather is getting cooler and we're turning the heat on in our homes. Particularly in Minnesota, it's starting to get cold, so we're getting into those early winter temperatures.
Yes.
And when we turn on the heat, it dries out the air, and that dry air can really dry out our skin as well. So certainly the dryness is part of it, and then just the temperatures themselves, the effect of cold on our skin. Our skin is our interface with the environment, and certainly our skin feels those cold temperatures as well.
Yes. So when we get into cooler weather, I'm assuming, and correct me if I'm wrong, please, that I guess dead skin cells, do they tend to kind of build up? And should we be exfoliating more, or what should we be doing?
Yeah, sometimes, we certainly see more dry skin, and some of that dry skin can be a little bit more adherent or stuck onto the surface of the skin, so we can see some of that flaking. I will tell you, I'm not a huge proponent of exfoliation because I sometimes see folks who get a little bit aggressive with the exfoliation. That can sometimes cause some irritation in the skin and, even further rashes. So I think exfoliation, gentle exfoliation, I think is fine. We'll often recommend, rather than doing a lot of mechanical exfoliation, using an exfoliating cream. And there's a few different ones that are on the market. Ammonium lactate, 12% is one that is often used, or a low percentage of urea, like a 10% urea cream. And those can be helpful because they do provide some degree of moisturization, but also help to break down some of those dead skin cells and maybe are a little less aggressive than sometimes we see when folks are scrubbing at their skin.
Yes. Oh, that's a great tip. Exfoliating gently and maybe with a cream, as you say. We'll definitely look into that. And as the weather cools even more, I want to ask about sun protection because for whatever reason, even, my own husband, he's like, oh, it's winter. Do I need sunscreen? And I always tell him we should have sunscreen on like all year round. But am I incorrect or is he wrong?
No, you are right. Yes,
Okay.
I like the year-round sunscreen. We see sun year-round, right? Even on cloudy days, there's still light. There's still UV light that's coming down and having contact with our skin. And as we know, UV light is the primary driver for skin cancers and also photoaging of the skin. So the development of smaller tan or brown spots, some fine lines and wrinkling. So yeah, certainly sunscreen. I like doing that all year round. The other part of that is just getting into the habit will make you less likely to forget it. So it's a daily routine. You just put it on in the morning, and that can be helpful.
Yes.
In most places, the UV index is lower in the wintertime, so there's usually less UV light, but there still is some. And Certainly in Minnesota, we get a lot of snow coverage, and there's a lot of light that's reflected off of the snow as well. So, and I do see folks who get sunburns in the winter, if they're alpine skiing or Nordic skiing, spending a lot of time outdoors, and they can get sunburns just like they can in the summertime too.
Right. That's a great point that you make, Dr. Pearson, because, if you head up to the slopes, as many of our listeners do avidly during winter, you might think, oh, do I need it? And if I'm skiing during the night, but if it's anything like reflecting off the snow, then we do have to protect our skin. So that's a great tip. Thanks for letting us know. And this question, when it comes to things like cleansing, is there a proper way to wash your face? And I'm sorry, I'm throwing my husband under the bus this morning, but he is so rough. I always tell him be gentle when you're washing your face, but he does the very aggressive up and down, almost with his hands, but really scrubbing hard. And his face always looks kind of red after he washes his face. And I always tell him do you need to be that rough? Once again, can you kind of walk us through how we should be properly cleansing our face?
Yeah, I kind of have a less is more approach. So being a little bit more gentle is I'm definitely in that camp. Again, some people can be very aggressive and use abrasive cloths and things. And I think using either a really soft cloth or just your hands. We recommend, cleansers that are not detergent types of cleansers, so that they're going to be less likely to strip oils away from the skin and compromise that skin barrier. So things like Dove, CeraVe, Cetaphil, those are common brands that we often recommend in the U.S. Because they're just a little bit more gentle on the skin. And, I guess in terms of some of the redness, sometimes turning the temperature down a little bit can be helpful on the water.
Okay.
Sometimes if the water's very hot, that can also lead to a little bit of redness just from the heat.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm in the camp of being gentle. So yes.
I will relay that message. Be gentle. And then after we properly, gently cleanse our face, how should we be applying things like toner and moisturizer? And a lot of our male listeners on different days, they mention they literally wash their face and that's it. They don't put on sun cream. And I'm not generalizing all male listeners, but some of our male listeners that chimed in, they're like, oh, all I do is wash my face. I don't apply sunscreen. So if we were to go through the basics of, maybe the proper steps, even with the real basics of toner and moisturizer, and then the sunscreen, in what order should we be going?
Yeah, so I guess if you want to have it as simple as possible, if you're only going to do one thing, that one thing should be a sunscreen. So that would be my recommendation. Okay. If you are feeling like you can do a few more things, so yeah, after a gentle cleanser, then the next most important thing is a moisturizer, and I would recommend using that moisturizer first. After you do the cleansing, then use the moisturizer, and then layer the sunscreen on top of that.
And for ladies who might be who want more, who are willing to go the extra step. So is it okay to put on the toner or the toner pads that are readily available these days? Is that okay to put on first?
Yes, and then if you're at the top of your game, then adding the toner, do that first. So do the cleanser and then the toner, and then the moisturizer, and that helps to lock in some of that extra moisturizer. A lot of toners and moisturizers these days also have hyaluronic acid in them, and that can help to retain water and help your skin to hold on to some of that water. And then giving a little bit of extra barrier. So a good ingredient to look for in moisturizers are ceramides, and they can help to restore the skin barrier as well. So the definitely the cleanser first, then the toner, then the moisturizer, and then the sunscreen on the top. With the toner, just being careful with those so you know what the ingredients are. And if you do tend more toward the sensitive end of the skin spectrum, trying to find a toner that doesn't have alcohols in them, because those can be more drying for the skin. Looking for ones that are going to be more moisturizing. And there's many different brands that are out there. But looking for ingredients like hyaluronic acid in both the toners and the moisturizers can be helpful.
Yes. And at nighttime, should the routine be a little different? Because at least here in Korea, there's a tendency to kind of lather on extra creams and moisturizers at night, whether it be some sort of night, a heavier cream, or maybe an extra cream around the eyes. Is that advisable, especially as we head towards drier, colder weather?
Yeah, I think if your skin tends toward the dry end of the spectrum, using a thick moisturizing cream is absolutely the right thing to be doing.
Yes.
And many people will tolerate that better at nighttime than they do walking around during the day, where it can feel a little bit heavy. Those moisturizers can be very useful to use at nighttime. Another nighttime ingredient that some folks will use is either a retinol or a retinoid. In the U.S., retinols are over the counter, and only one retinoid, adapalene, is over the counter, and the rest are prescription. Those medications can be drying for the skin. They can cause a little bit of irritation, particularly in the winter months. So incorporating them with a moisturizer can be helpful, but those can help with turning over the skin and normalizing that skin maturation process. And then they can also help, again, to counteract some of those photoaging effects, some of the fine lines, some of the little bit of dyspigmentation that results just from living your life and having some exposure.
Yes,
so that can be a good thing to add into the nighttime routine.
All right. And Dr. Pearson, as we wrap up, is there anything else we should be keeping in mind? Because, some beauty experts, non-doctors, they might be saying like, oh, you need to hydrate a lot and drink like 2 liters of water per day to keep your, skin healthy and glowing. Is there medical science behind this that we should be hydrating more during the drier months?
Kind of. So when people are very dehydrated, that can affect the skin hydration status and can dry out skin. But most of the time when we're encountering dry skin, people have very normal hydration status. And so increasing water consumption is probably not going to make a big difference for how dry your skin is. So the main thing is going to be those moisturizers. That's going to be the most effective thing to help moisturize your skin. There's some data that suggests that humidifiers that you can place in rooms or, having a humidifier in your home can be helpful, probably to a little bit lesser extent than direct moisturizer application. But yeah, consuming more water, if you're sort of in a relatively normal range in hydration status and not profoundly dehydrated, probably not going to make a big difference for the hydration status for your skin.
Well, thanks for answering that question, plus all our questions as we transition into the colder months. Thanks for joining us today, Dr. Pearson. Thanks for all your advice, and take care.
Thank you very much.
This was Dr. David Pearson, and we talked about some tips for healthy fall, winter skin. And as you heard, if you're going to just use one thing he recommends, if it's just one thing, it's going to be the sunscreen. We're going to take a song break. Here it is. This is You and Me by Jenny.
You know I gotcha, you know that I got you like that. Ain't nobody gonna have your back like the way I do. Love it, just say you do. You know you got me. Everything you do, everything you did, everything I wish I was with makes me feel alright, I'm just saying. So I really like it. Nothing in the world can make me feel the way you do the things you do. I really like it. Nothing in the world can make me feel the way you do the things you do. I love you and me, dancing in the moonlight. Nobody can see, it's just you and me tonight. I love you and me, dancing in the moonlight. Nobody can see, it's just you and me tonight. Look at you, now look at me. Are you ever gonna find someone like this? Look at you, now look at me. Are you ever gonna find someone like this? You're the reason my heart skips, drops. Just a little touch, my world stops. Finally I know that you're mine. I don't wanna fall, don't wanna play this game of love. Oh, there's nowhere to hide. I really like it. Nothing in the world can make me feel the way you do the things you do. I really like it. Nothing in the world can make me feel the way you do the things you do. I love you and me, dancing in the moonlight. Nobody can see, it's just you and me tonight. I love you and me, dancing in the moonlight. Nobody can see, it's just you and me tonight. Look at you, now look at me. Are you ever gonna find someone like this? Look at you, now look at me. Are you ever gonna find someone like this? Ever gonna find someone like this?
I don't care about your first love, this should be your last one. Nothing like your last one.
it look better on me, that's fashion. Won't block your shots, lights, camera, action. Never been a love me or a love me not thing. Every pedal better tell him better not change. I love you, I love me a lot. Wait, which one I love better? Better off not saying.
It's time for Waglwagle. It's a little later than usual. We have Haley back in the studio. Hello.
Hello, hello.
All right, let's dive right in. And this story, I'm sure many people have heard about it. A young worker at a very popular bakery died in the employee's dorm. And the family is claiming that he died from overwork.
Right. So this 26-year-old employee was found dead in Rondenbeagle Museum's Incheon branch dorm earlier this month. And because how popular this bakery is, this has been a big story. So according to the family, they say that the deceased, who was a very healthy man, had overworked. He was preparing for the opening of a new branch of the bakery and plus his usual duties, and said they filed for industrial accidents claims with the local labor authorities.
Wow. So those are the family's claims, but how much overwork are we talking about?
Right. So the concrete evidence is a little murky. We'll get to that in a bit. But the family had estimated his working hours based on the deceased Kakao Talk history plus his public transportation usage. And the reason that they've submitted this as evidence as opposed to concrete records is because the company, according to the family, did not provide them with the actual logs of his hours, saying that they don't have these records. For the company's part, they're saying that the fingerprint scanner on their in their office was not functioning at the time, so they cannot give them with the specific in and out hours. But in any case, according to the circumstantial evidence, the week before his death, he apparently worked 80 hours per week.
80.
And for the 12 weeks prior to his death, the average working hours came out to 60 hours and 21 minutes. So putting all this together, he would qualify, if we're taking this at face value, for the Labor Korea Workers' Compensation and Welfare Services criteria for both short and long-term overwork. And also his Kakao Talk message to his girlfriend the day before he died, it showed that he worked nonstop for 15 hours without eating.
Wow. Okay. So what has the bakery franchise said about this entire matter?
And this is one of the other reasons why it's been so controversial, because initially they refuted the claims that the deceased worked 80 hours, saying that although they cannot exclude the possibility of the headquarters not being aware of some of the hours, 80 is just it cannot be possible. Their claim, the company's claim, is that the deceased worked an average of 44 hours. And this sparked outrage about whether the company was trying to, dodge responsibility.
Right.
So several days later, Rondenbeagle Museum posted an apology on its social media, admitting to such lapses in its initial response and apologized to the family. However, they also said that the deceased was taking part in the opening of a new branch, and that does require a temporary spike in hours. Again, they claim that they cannot give the actual hours because the fingerprint scanner wasn't working, but it vowed full cooperation and promised to be fully transparent.
However, the controversies surrounding the bakery's response, they continue.
Right. So I'm citing a Hangyeoldae paper exclusive. The company allegedly sent text messages to the family as they were trying to file for the industrial damages report. So the cousin of the deceased is a labor lawyer, and he says that they say that an executive of the company said, quote, they have no work records except the work schedule, and also asked the family to act in a conscientious way. 양심적으로 행동하라. So the outlet also reported, citing a Progressive Party lawmaker who said that a morning notice that was sent out by Rondenbeagle Museum's Incheon branch directed employees to refuse any media interviews, to not post anything on their personal social media that's not been confirmed.
Well, this isn't just a singular case with, just one company or just, unfortunately, this one young worker.
Right. And of course, we will have to get to the authorities. We'll have to get to the bottom of this particular case.
Yes.
But the issue of overworking, overexertion, unfortunately, far too common in South Korea.
Yes.
So in the past 5 years, 1,000, actually a little over 1,000 workers died from cardiovascular diseases linked to their job. So most of the cases involve cardiac arrest, so heart attack, strokes, and other issues that can stem from overworking because these long hours, stress, and physical labor all compile and pressure your body.
Okay. Once again, unfortunate story. All right. For our next and final story, we're going to go to France, where the first couple have filed lawsuits against 10 people for this whole conspiracy, which is linked to our text topic, conspiracy theory against the First Lady.
Right. So for a while, this conspiracy theory is and has been circulating online that Brigitte Macron, the First Lady of France, was born biologically male.
Right.
So is therefore transgender male to female. So these accusations, which are false, by the way, say that Brigitte Macron was born a man named Jean-Michel Trinjot, and that's the name of her older brother.
Oh.
So that's a real person, but not her.
Oh.
Right. So again, to be crystal clear, Brigitte Macron has 3 biological children from her previous marriage. So she is biologically female. There was another uproar recently because some reports had cited that her name on official tax records had said, quote, Jean-Michel called Brigitte Macron. And Mrs. Macron's chief of staff confirmed that this was actually a hacking event, and Mrs. Macron was shocked to see this.
So let's talk about the lawsuits.
Right. So there are 2 separate lawsuits, 2 big chunks going on. Earlier ongoing case is actually in the United States, a defamation 명예훼손 suit against an American conservative podcaster, Candace Owen, who made these claims. She's wildly popular, has 4.5 million subscribers on YouTube. The recent case, Monday in France local time, Macron's filed a cyberbullying case against 10 people. And the chief judge here said the defendants had caused a deterioration in the First Lady's physical and mental health.
Okay.
They not only spread rumors about her gender, but also called her relationship with her husband as pedophilia, citing the 24-year age gap. He, of course, met her while he was a student and she was a teacher. But yeah, that's the conspiracy theory that's been going on in France.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you for going over all the Woggly news and, of course, all the reporting earlier with the APEC-related stories. And we'll check in with you tomorrow. Thank you, Haley.
Have a great day.
All right, I'll be back with Vasana in just a moment. It's time for Buzz Breakdown. Vasana's here.
I am?
Yeah, you are.
I am.
You magically appeared. Not evaporated. You appeared.
Whatever the
disappear.
opposite of evaporated is.
Yes. I don't know. It's been a long morning with lots of news. My brain is not working properly.
Nice.
So, how are you?
Good. Because I'm happy.
Are you? Are you?
Yeah.
Well, our
always
text
happy.
topic is about those conspiracy theories, one of which we just talked about.
Yes.
About, French First Lady Brigitte Macron. But are there any conspiracy theories or urban legends that have really just stuck with you or stayed with you or you remember from when you were younger?
But yes and no. I mean, there's always the UFO, the moon landings.
Alien autopsy.
Yes. The Loch Ness Monster. The moon landing.
Nessie, yeah.
Yeah, the moon landing.
Being a hoax, right?
Yeah, all of them being hoaxes. The one with me is the one that I don't believe is the moon landing. Meaning that I believe that they did it because over 14,000 people were involved in that.
But many people think it just didn't happen.
If it was false,
staged.
if it was false or staged, I'm sure somebody would have
some sort of proof
would have leaked it by now.
One of the 14,000 people
One
involved.
of those 14,000 people involved.
Yes.
Would have leaked something. But anyway, yeah. So but I have my own lots of conspiracy theories. Yeah, it's all fun. Life's all about that. Having fun.
Well, what do you have for us for Buzz Breakdown?
This week has seen the start, or rather last Thursday, this past week has seen the start of the NBA season. We've seen 4 wonderful games of the Baseball World Series.
Ah, yes. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, 3 not so wonderful games of the Korean Baseball Series, or rather 4 now. 2 rather. 2 of them were not so good. One was good last night.
You really want Andrew's job.
No.
Andrew Murphy.
And of course, APEC. That's not sport. That's not sport. And APEC in Gyeongju starting this weekend. So stay off the roads. Anybody who wants to go to Gyeongju, stay off the roads unless you like being stuck in traffic.
Because there's a lot of traffic.
There is a lot of traffic.
There's a lot of security detail.
Even last weekend, there was a lot of traffic. Starting last weekend, all the traffic, all the security details working out there. Security routes.
Right.
So I thought this week I would introduce 2 words, starting off with sport and then going on to the office.
Okay, here we go.
2 words that are rarely used to describe people, and then going on to more commonly used words to describe people in our offices. So the first word, freak.
Oh, but we're using it positively, right?
Yes, it depends on how you use it. Yes.
It's the context, because if you call somebody a freak, it can be quite negative.
Hey, Catherine, you're a freak.
What do you mean? How am I freaky? There are like 3 different ways.
That's a different meaning altogether.
Okay, that's for like...
I might get in trouble here. Let's leave that one there. I'll leave your roommate to that one. Now, if you've been following basketball, or if you know anything about the NBA, you know a guy called Wembanyama.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. People call him a freak, and you can carry that on to say freak of nature.
Can you explain, though?
Yes. It means he is out of the ordinary. He is not ordinary. He's. It might sound like he's a monster or something weird, but it's a huge compliment.
It is.
It means that nobody can match him. So he's a freak in something, or is a freak with something.
Right.
So he's a freak in basketball. So you can say that somebody is a freak with computers.
Oh, yes. That means you are super good at what you do.
Yeah, super good at what he can do. And in regards to computers, he can fix anything. So the key here is freak means unbelievably skilled.
Yes.
Rare or special.
That's right.
So, Catherine, you're a freak.
The way you say it, though, I don't know. It doesn't sound too complimentary.
So this is the person.
You're a freak.
The person. This is the thing. Do not use the word freak by itself.
Right.
Yeah. You have to use it in context.
Yes.
So if you have been talking about somebody being special, then you can use it then. But use it with freak of nature. Or use it with the phrase of what they are a freak on. Or a freak with. So you are a freak on the radio. Or freak on the guitar. Or freak whatever.
On the keyboard.
On the keyboard,
yes,
like
for
with
Vasana,
me. Yes. Okay.
Okay, so the first word we had was freak, but as Vasana said, use it wisely.
Use it wisely, yes.
And sparingly.
Yes.
Don't be going out there calling everybody freaks.
Yeah, freak.
No.
Freak. No, don't do that.
Okay, what's our second word?
Unicorn.
Unicorn. Aww.
So you might think of the cute mythical animal with the horn on its forehead.
It's usually white, right?
Yes, usually white with rainbows all around.
and sparkles.
Yes. But in English slang, a unicorn means something or someone that's one of a kind, so special.
Yes.
It's almost magical.
So in business, it's used a lot.
Yes. So a unicorn company is a startup with over $1 billion.
I want to own a unicorn.
Yes.
Like a unicorn company.
Yes.
Not a real unicorn, because there is no such thing. It is a mythical creature, right?
Yes.
Speaking of myths.
Yes, speaking of myths, yes. But in sports or entertainment, we can also use it for people. So for example, baseball fans everybody knows Ohtani.
Yes.
Yes.
Benny actually mentioned Ohtani
there you go.
as actually like a freak of nature for baseball.
Correct.
But he's also a unicorn.
Yes.
He is so special.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, he's a freak, but there's a lot of freaks in baseball. Because for me, number 99 in New York Yankees, Aaron Judge. He's a freak as well. But anyway, so a unicorn because he can pitch and bat.
Yes.
Nobody does that
That
now
is so unique.
as well as he can. Some people can pitch and hit.
Yes.
But he does them both very, very well.
That's right.
Yep.
He's special.
So nobody exists like him. Okay, but a freak is somebody who does something very well. But a unicorn is somebody
it's even more unique.
More unique.
Yes,
much
extra
more special.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go on to everyday words.
Okay.
If we have time.
Yeah, we have
got
plenty of
lots
time.
Okay. So you might not meet a unicorn every day. You might not meet you might meet freaks every day, but you might not meet a unicorn every day. But you might meet some of these people every day. So the first word, know-it-all. A know-it-all is a person who knows everything.
Or who thinks they know everything.
They know everything. And there's another word, which I won't give the meaning, the definition, but ask-hole. This is a person who asks a question even though they know the answer. And ask-hole. So
you got to pronounce it carefully.
Yes, you got to have the K in there. Ask.
Yes.
Ask a question. Hole.
Yes.
So a know-it-all acts like they know everything, even when they don't. So I always tell my students, if you don't know the answer to a question,
yes.
Don't guess.
Don't guess.
Just say
I don't know.
Just say 몰라.
Oh, my roommate sometimes calls me to know-it-all because I'm like, don't do that, do this, and he's like, oh, you're such a know-it-all. So it's not a great thing.
So yeah, I use it, and you're such a know-it-all. You never listen to anyone. So if you are a know-it-all, if you do know something, it's okay to say you don't know sometimes. It's okay to say I don't know. Just to be humble, just to let other people think they are good. Next one, brown noser.
Brown noser.
In the office, there's always a brown noser. This is someone who tries too hard to please their boss.
How come? Do I have a different script? I have different words.
Yes, that's why. I thought.
Okay. Brown noser.
That's why I thought That's why I thought you didn't have this thing.
Oh,
there.
I was looking at. I have a whole list of other words.
Yes,
it's okay though. I can go with whatever you're going with.
Yes.
So brown noser.
Yeah, here we go.
So you got to explain brown noser.
A brown noser is someone who tries too hard to please their boss.
Oh yeah, we. Okay, I won't say.
Yeah.
There are always brown nosers at work.
So I had a list of about 20 of them. So I chose those ones that we have people. Every office has these people.
Or like a person who sucks up to the boss.
Sucks up to the boss.
They're so good at it.
안녕하십니까? 와, 너무 멋있어요.
Like, oh yeah, kissing someone's butt.
Yeah.
That's the nicest way I can say without getting thrown off the air.
Yes, in New Zealand we don't even say that. We usually make noises, like sucking noises.
Oh really?
Or kissing noises.
Yeah, we don't do that on BFM. Yes. Not at Morning Wave.
No, we won't.
Okay, brown nose.
I was just saying what we do. So they flatter, they compliment, they agree with 네, 맞습니다, 맞고요. 네,
everything,
yeah.
always.
So stop being a brown noser. Just be honest. So I have used it on myself because I literally do have a brown nose. Anyway, carrying on. Next one, a gatekeeper.
Oh, this is a good one.
Yes, a gatekeeper.
What is a gatekeeper?
A gatekeeper is someone who blocks progress. So maybe by controlling information or by controlling access.
Yes.
So this could be like a secretary to the boss who's at the door and you want to go inside to talk to the boss and she says, oh, I'm sorry, he's busy right now. So, no, I want to go, no, I'm sorry, he's busy right now. So you just barge
Or you could be like a gatekeeper of this like amazing beauty secret, but you don't want anyone else to know.
Correct, yeah.
So you're just going to gatekeep it and keep it to yourself.
Just like your interview earlier when you were saying, oh, can you suggest something? No, I can't.
Yeah, that would be gatekeeping. That would be bad.
I could, but I can't.
Yes.
This is amazing product, but wait for it.
Yeah, I won't let you know what it is.
If you pay me $10,000, I'll give it to you. Okay, and then the last one is workaholic. Workaholic. Now,
do you know any workaholics?
Yes. Us.
Are you one? I think many of us are. Yes, and then our producer, we're all workaholics.
We're all workaholics.
Yeah.
So this one can be neutral, positive, negative.
Yes.
It's someone who works all the time. So it can be negative, as we saw in that story earlier, but it can be positive also because we love to work. And
but I am not ashamed to say I love working.
Yeah.
I don't know. When I have days off, I'm at home, I'm so bored.
Really?
Yeah, no, for real. So I actually really enjoy working, like being active and doing something, like using my brain for something.
Oh, when I'm at home, I'm always doing something as well. I always have to get on the piano or the computer and do something.
So you're even at home. You're not just
no. Sometimes maybe for about an hour I'll switch on the TV or something. But yeah.
Yes.
So he never takes a vacation. He's a workaholic.
It's like the opposite of some people are so into the whole whatever, like having
couch potato.
Like no, just having balance and being able to distinguish like work.
Yes.
And then my personal life, and then hobbies,
Yep.
and etc.,
Yep.
which is, I think, really healthy.
Yes.
It's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not there.
So it can show dedication. Or a lack of balance.
Like I said, lack of balance.
Yeah,
like
so
some
just,
people,
as you said,
not good.
So for some people it's positive, some people it's negative. So it's a tricky one.
It is.
Yeah.
Navigating.
Yes.
Well, we're going to call it a wrap for all the fun words today.
Okay, freak.
All right. Fellow freak and fellow workaholic. Well, we will check in with you next week for more buzzwords. So thank you, Vasana.
Thank you.
All right. Well, it's time to say goodbye for today. And, we went over the ins and outs of the tariff deal. And we talked about, of course, the bilateral summit between the Korean president and the U.S. president as well. And later on this morning, the summit between President Donald Trump and President Xi Jinping is scheduled to take place. We're bringing the details tomorrow, because that's what we do here on Morning Wave in Busan, which is produced by Jo Yeji. We have our assistant producer, Kang Hee-jin. Our writers, Haley Seo and Soo Kim. I'm Catherine. I'll be back tomorrow. And speaking of happy, by Pharrell Williams. Enjoy. Bye, everybody.
She's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Here come bad news, talking this and that. I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine. No offense to